from taking on a 4-pound burrito. 4 pounds. I was just thinking about that as I was reading. 4 pounds, twice the size, 2 bags of standard size sugar.
2 kilos, nearly 2 kilos.
That's a big burrito. To slurping his way through 15 dozen oysters, really, Adam Richman, no stranger to extreme eating challenges.
He's taken a little step back from that now. The former Man vs. Food presenter is exploring what dishes are on offer this side of the pond in a new programme exploring Britain's culinary delights. Take a look.
Yorkshire parking, please. There you go.
Marvellous, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Is this a no parking zone? If I eat this in here, is it public parking? Huh? Huh?
Parkin is traditionally eaten on Guy Fawkes Night, and in 19th century Leeds, the 5th of November was even known as Parkin Day. This sumptuous, squishy cake is baked and left for at least 3 days to allow it to soften so it can get its characteristic stickiness.
I've seen a lot of things I've never seen before. This same place does jacket potatoes with tuna fish. My brain is exploding. I'm trying to eat this cake to keep calm. Parkin cake, from what I understand, the ingredients are flour, molasses, and oatmeal. Oh yeah, it's super duper sticky. Super moist, which I really like.
Adam's just, if you heard him chuntering away there, Adam, morning.
Morning.
You were sort of
Morning.
explaining about your history of food, family background-wise.
Yes, I know you had just asked me, Naga, what was mom's specialty, what was dad's specialty.
Yeah.
Dad ruled the backyard barbecue with an iron fist. And my mom, I think, could cook anything. I think you could give her a trainer and some salt and she would make ambrosia. But my mom's spinach pie is proof God loves us and wants us to be happy.
Oh,
it's not like Greek spanakopita. It's like her thing. And it's just, yeah, it's just the taste of home.
That sounds lovely. I think you're a bit like a sort of one of those animals that sniffs out like truffles with food, because as soon as you came in here, you looked under the...
I'm a pig?
No, I didn't mean that. I could see where that was going.
I'm a legato romagnolo? What am I?
No, what I meant was, let's try and backtrack a little bit. When Adam came in, he looked under the desk
you are on
here,
your own.
and he found that he immediately sourced the food, which is the porridge.
Oh,
that
no, I
had
nearly
this
kicked your porridge pot down there.
It's like
I
you see it, it's like,
apologize.
there it is.
Oh, it wasn't like I sniffed it out.
Yeah, I did. That came out the wrong way.
I felt like a psychic. I sense porridge.
But
yes, exactly.
You have a sort of, you're drawn to food, aren't you? And stories around food.
Well, you hit the nail on the head right there. I think ultimately it's the story of food and the language of food. And I feel that if I meet someone from Liverpool and talk about having scouse or salt and pepper chicken, and meet someone from Bury and I tell them that, oh, we filmed at the market and I had black pudding there. I just was meeting some people here at this very studio and saying, oh, you live in Ancoats. Have you been to the Flat Baker? We just filmed there. And I think, quite honest, I mean, when most Americans say, oh, I've been to England, by and large, they've been to London, maybe Manchester or Liverpool. But I think that, to be fair, British food is often unfairly maligned, and I think it's because it's often misunderstood. And I think it's important for people to see that whether it's Cheddar Gorge or whether it's Whitstable oysters in Whitstable, yes, it's fun to do, like, you know, a Bakewell, Tartan Bakewell, and a sandwich and sandwich. But all the highways and byways just have like a breathtaking culinary story to them. And finding Cameroonian food in the Peak District is a perfect example of an amazing food find in an unlikely place.
Why do you think? Because I kind of bristle a bit when I hear that British food is maligned, because I think we have fantastic cuisine, but we have a fantastic mix of all different cultures' food in this country. You can get anything here, and it's always changing. We're always discovering new things. Why do you think British food is maligned? Against whom? Versus whom?
I think, simply put, it's what's come, like what has left the borders. So if you go to an English pub everywhere from Thailand to Times Square, you're going to find things that are battered and fried and buttered, etc. And people will know about fish and chips or bangers and mash, but they won't realize that the modern British bounty encompasses flavors of Southeast Asia, Africa, Central America, Eritrea, Middle East. And I mean, we're in a city right now with a curry mile that we filmed in Leicester. I had no idea that the Diwali celebration in Leicester rivals that of Southeast Asia itself. And I think what did Heraclitus say? Dogs bark at people they do not know. And I think that hopefully people will know who I am, and they'll go, well, if he likes it, maybe I'll go to Derbyshire. Maybe I'll go to Perthshire in Scotland. Oh, he's not barfing after trying some haggis. He's going to be okay. Maybe I should give it a shot myself.
I haven't heard the word barf for a while.
I know, it was definitely, as I said it, I was like, 1984 called. They'd want their word back.
It's like watching an 80s movie, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It was totally rad.
Do you think, you were saying about maybe an image of British food. Mm-hmm. Do you think we have a bit of snobbery about what we think about American food? I mean, like, for example, if one of us were to go to America and do a similar kind of series going, what is it about hot dogs in Cincinnati or something? Do you think there's similar kind of things going on?
Sure. I mean, I think that there's certainly, especially my show, probably fuels a little, my original show, Man vs. Food, probably fueled a little bit of that perception of everything being enormous and maybe a tad overindulgent or a tad over the top. But that is just one part of American food, the American landscape.
Just tell us about this we're seeing here? What's going on there?
Oh, that is a throwback. That looks like Chompies in Arizona.
What's Chompies?
It was a restaurant in Arizona, and it was a slider challenge.
What were you saying about American food not being over the top?
Well, this is, but what I'm saying, but this is exactly what I'm saying. That's like saying all British food is fish and chips and bangers and mash. But I mean, we're going back to, 14 years ago? So I think that there have been other food stories to tell. I know that this is kind of the more sensational thing to show and look at, but it's hardly indicative, I think.
Does that feel like a form of life now? Because
I think to an extent, I think because I've been blessed to move on and tell other stories about food, whether it's telling the stories of barbecue here or talking about why the Eton mess is called the Eton mess, or Bakewell tarts have certainly jumped the pond, but to go to Derbyshire and just see that the sheer beauty of that place. I had never been to the Peak District before. I had never been to Scotland before. Filming here, and then all of a sudden I'm in Aberdeen having Cullen skink by the water, and quite literally my crew stops me and there's dolphins jumping around behind, and like the sheer scenic beauty. But also, again, I think most people's perception of Scotland, it's a bunch of people in kilts running around with their faces half painted blue eating fried Mars bars, and then you go and there's just this wonderful, like, profoundly diverse culinary scene, and I hope people can appreciate that.
Have you eaten rabbit since you ate it on, I think it was episode 1 or episode 2, I know
my face was quite a picture.
You were very, very concerned, weren't you?
It's very funny. I think it's just because it's not something I grew up eating, and I know that people ethically source them, and if you're going to be an omnivore, be an omnivore. It's not my go-to protein. But
you did enjoy it?
In spite of myself, yes. I mean, the chef just had such prodigious culinary skill. And also, I mean, I think that, my father, may rest in peace, used to say, you don't have to finish it, but at least try it, and always treat someone who's feeding you with respect. And I think the culinary skill at that restaurant, you're referring to the Owl in Leeds, he just put forth so much effort and culinary skill, and he opened his doors to us. I think that, you have to treat it with respect when you eat it.
Adam, have you sampled the BBC canteen?
I have not. Is there a particular
dish
morsel that I should? Is there a signature BBC morsel?
I don't know. I just thought you
I'm
might,
being told. What's that? The Rocky Road?
The ice cream?
Ice cream. Oh, and the hash brown.
The Rocky Road, like the cookie. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bar, and then apparently the hash browns are very good.
And you've only recommended to me fried potatoes and ice cream, just so you know. This is what I'm saying. Like, I want to go, wait a minute, there are salads here. There really are. We were in Perthshire, and they made a sausage casserole in a bread bowl, and I was like, what's all this green stuff? Like these green leafy things next to my sausage and cheese. Oh, salad. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Well, it's a fun programme. It looked like you had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Adam.
Good to see you guys as well.
Adam Richman Eats Britain. That's what it's called. It's available to watch Mondays at 9 p.m. on the Food Network and a stream on Discovery.